Live from the Pines, your favorite East Texas sports podcast. Coming at you live tonight. Tonight we have a special guest joining the show. Angelina College men's basketball coach, Coach JJ Montgomery. Coach JJ, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Like I told you earlier, a little bit tired. It's been a long day, but that's part of coaching.
When's the last time you had a break?
That's tough. I can't do it last time.
Is it is it starting to slow down for you?
No, like I say, you would think now that the season's over with, they'll slow down, but it's actually a bigger time for us because we're in the recruiting process, and me and coaches, we on the road or we're at the office taking calls. So it hasn't slowed down and actually picked up more.
So in an average year, when does the conference season end?
It just depends. Every year is going to end around mid-March, so we have the conference tournament every year around spring break time. So the conference tournament is at spring break, and then, you get a good week and a half off if you get accepted to nationals, and then you go from there. And then it just depends how far you make it to nationals. But the season can go all the way through April, which is a pretty long season.
And y'all play all the way to the end of March or beginning of April?
We played to the end of March. Actually, we lost the day before my birthday.
Oh, man, I hate to hear that. Next year, they might get it done for you for your birthday, man. I hate to hear that.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to appreciate you coming on here, taking the time. I know it's a busy time with the recruitment and everything, but I wanted to ask, what does it mean kind of being the first team AC since, 1998 to make the tournament and kind of doing that in a community you grew up in?
I mean, it's very special for me personally, being able to come back home and getting that blessing, from Coach Davis and Dr. Simon, even Coach McKelvey at that time, to be able to come back home and everything to me. And this like one of the goals. I wanted to come back and do something special for Angelina and also for Lufkin. Making it to the national tournament, it's always a goal every single year. And just in my third year, I didn't think it would happen this fast, honestly. But I'm glad it did, and we was able to get the right pieces together, and now that my guys know what it takes to get there, and when they had that taste, man, that's all we talk about every single day is the national tournament and just making that run again. But Preston, man, did everything to me, and I definitely got to give a big shout out to Lufkin and the community because it seems like everybody watching those games on ESPN. I got so many text messages and so many phone calls, and like I say, I appreciate the love and appreciate the support and. Like I said, man, it means everything because it's a hometown.
So, Coach Montgomery, where did the love of basketball start for you? Like, when did you know, as a kid growing up in East Texas and playing basketball, when did you know basketball was it for you and you wanted to pursue this for the career you had in playing the game also? Oh,
I'll be honest. I'm a late bloomer. Right. It's East Texas. I grew up loving football. I never thought I'd play the game of basketball. To be honest, it's a funny story, but I didn't start playing until me in my 8th grade year, going to my 9th grade. So I didn't play basketball growing up as a kid. The football was always in my hand. My dad was a big Dallas Cowboys fan, and of course, being in Lufkin, it's all about football when it comes to East Texas. So actually, I was I don't know if I remember, but it was probably a long time ago. We used to have junior high East and junior high West.
Oh yeah, well, we've heard of it, but we weren't a lot there those days.
Yeah, junior high East and junior high West. Now I attended junior high East and. Every day at lunch, we go out there to the basketball court and just goof around and play basketball during our lunchtime. We never ate lunch. We just went out there and hoop in that 30 minutes time. But it was a guy named Coach King Davis, who was a junior high basketball coach at that time. And after he came up to me, he saw me and just said, "Hey, man, you got some talent. You got some skills. Do you mind playing basketball this year for the junior high team?" And I was like, "Nah, that's not my thing. We didn't know when to play." And he was like, "Just give it a try." And then, of course, I went out there for tryouts and he liked what he saw, and I did pretty good, and then I picked up the game pretty quick, and the rest was history from there.
So, see that you're the head coach for Angelina now, but how did your coaching career kind of get started? Was there like a jump start that you got, and what was kind of the journey to get to where you're at right now?
It was a journey. My first coaching job was actually at Lone Star College, North Harris. I knew somebody, and they knew I was back in town. I had just retired from playing basketball overseas. And cool thing about it, at the time, I was a kindergarten teacher at Emmett Elementary. So I wasn't even doing any coaching. I was actually teaching kindergartners how to learn and how to write and read. And then one day I got a phone call from a friend. He said, "Hey man, you need to put in for the job at Lone Star North Harris. I mean, just see if you can get it. That'd be a good way to start your career. They're looking for a coach." And I put in there, and that first year, we broke a school record the first year I was there at Lone Star. One of the most games in school history in my first year, and that got me kind of started. And then from there, I moved on to Somerville High School, coached the girls program there. And had a lot of success in those 2 years, man. We broke records there and won the most games in school history and, had a lot of success in those 2 years. I think I only lost like 6 games in those 2 years. And at the time, too, I coached track. And then that same year, my last year, we actually made state for the first time in this school history in track. I was just excited and blessed by all the success that was coming my way. And then I actually signed a contract to coach in Tyler Legacy that summer. And then I moved out there for about 2 weeks before Coach Davis made me that phone call and came on over. He asked me, "Are you ready to come home?" And I'm like, "Man, for sure." Like I didn't know it was gonna happen that quick. Like I said, it happened pretty fast.
You never know.
You just never know. You don't.
So you talked about, you played overseas. Talk about, your high school career leading on to college, then overseas, playing overseas.
Man, I had a phenomenal high school career. Anyone that was there to follow me, for my sophomore year, back then, we couldn't play varsity as a freshman. So we had to wait till our sophomore year to play. And even back then, man, to be a sophomore on varsity was tough. It was. I was on the sophomore at the time to play varsity. In the district, you rarely saw sophomores on the varsity team. But I tell you, man, to be honest with you, I was at Jones Park a lot. Back then, you had to be accepted to play basketball at Jones Park. Like you just couldn't walk out there on the court and play. Like those guys, it was tough, it was rough. So you had to be one of those guys that could play. And that's how I got better playing at that part, man. And Coach Walker was he was my coach at Lefton High School, and I came in putting the words how quick I picked up the game and how good I got at such a small time. But Coach King Davis, I had guys like Kes Kennedy, guys like Schooler that worked with me all the time and trained with me, worked on my game. And you got to think about it, man. In every year every year I played varsity basketball, I scored 1,000 points or more.
I'm not gonna cut you. I'm gonna cut you off. But I gotta ask you a question. If I release a top 10 list for Lufkin basketball players at a certain position, and I don't put you at my number 1 spot, will you still?
I got a problem with that.
We can't.
I'm gonna have a problem with that. I'm gonna have a serious problem with that. Hey, Jay-Z is one of my favorite artists of all time. He made a quote years ago. He said, "Men lie, women lie, numbers don't." So that's why.
But what if I just like somebody better, and I just think they're, a little bit, I like them personally.
But it ain't about though. It's about the facts.
Exactly. The numbers say he scored the most points in a game, the most points in a season, and the most points
but
in the program.
Just because of that, I might like somebody else. I just want to make sure, But
I totally understand. My game was totally different from a lot of people's games. Even though I played the guard position. My coach never called me a guard. He called me a tweeter. He said, "Man, you just put JJ out there on the court. He's going to make it happen." So I played the post sometime, played the guard, played the point, bring the ball to the court. So I was one of those guys that was just I was not a position player. But offensive rebounds, layups, fast breaks, post up, 3-pointers. I did it all. So to be able to do what I did in every single year consistently. Senior year averaging 32 points a game, being one of the top players in the state of Texas, and it shows. So
yeah, 32 points a game.
My senior year,
32
and 10, 32 points, 10 rebounds a game. And, it was like I said, it's just like hard work. But shout out to all the players that came before me and the ones who are playing right now. But like I said, if I'm on the top list, then we're gonna have some issues. I'm probably gonna
I'm gonna put you on the list, but what if I always put you number 1?
Well, we're gonna have a group vote on that. It's not.
Yeah. So you played at Lufkin, had a great career. We move on from Lufkin. Where's next?
Next is of course, entered into college. But before I entered into college, I signed with a powerhouse called San Jack. I don't know, San Jack don't exist no more basketball wise because they shut the program down.
We know them as a baseball powerhouse.
Yes,
but
basketball, they were the one. They was the number 1 team in the nation every single year. They had a list of NBA players who played ball at San Jack. So coming out of high school, I had my Division I offers. I had a lot of them at that, but of course I didn't get the job done with my SAT scores and things like that, and that was a priority back then. So I signed with the powerhouse San Jack, and that's why I went to it. It just didn't work out, and I decided to leave that first semester before the season got started. And it was kind of funny because Coach Davis and Angelina recruited me hard. Like every single day, Coach Davis was at Lufkin High School. And then I left San Jack and I wanted to come back home. So I had to come back and look that man in the eye and pretty much beg him to take me and give me a chance here at Angelina College, man. But he took a chance. He welcomed me back open arms. And he was one of my toughest coaches. But even during that process, I had a lot of people saying, man, JJ's pretty much going to struggle at the next level. I mean, a lot of people from Lufkin actually thought that I was going to struggle at the next level. And then the next level became kind of more easier, man. I had to sit out a whole year. So I used that whole year as motivation, just getting better in the gym, practicing hard, working hard. And like I said, my first year back as a JUCO player, I think I averaged around 28, 29 a game. Player of the year, first team All-American my first year, and then the second year, averaged 35 almost a game, and led the whole nation in scoring. Another first team All-American, national player running up. So, Angelina was, I enjoyed playing basketball there. And like I said, for some reason the game got easier for me. But Coach Davis was a tough coach. He was a hard coach, man. I never understood why he never complimented me in my first year. Like seriously, I'd go have a 30-point game or 40-point game. He never, say a great game, pat me on the back. He'll just look at the stat sheets and say, hey, you missed 6 to 7 free throws. You got to do better. And I just think he was crazy. I'll go home and tell my mom, like, he never says a great game, ever. Like, what's wrong with this man? You know what I mean? So, but what he was doing was he made sure I didn't get comfortable as a player. You know what I mean? Like, and you know it now. You see it now. A lot of kids, no offense, but they get patted on their back for everything. Like, even getting an A in class. Now you get maybe a PlayStation for doing that. But that's something you're supposed to be doing as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, that's normal. That's what you're supposed to do is get good grades. So for in his eyes, he's like, Daddy, you scored 30 points. That's what you're supposed to do. We brought you here to do that. So he just never let me get comfortable. And, he never did want me to get to that point where, it was always a pat on the back for just doing what I was supposed to be doing. So shout out to Coach Davis, man, for being that tough on me. He definitely made me a better player at JUCO.
So when you were coming out of high school, you're averaging 32, 10 rebounds. What were some of the offers looking like on the Division I level?
I was crazy. From University of Texas, met with them, Texas Tech. I even had Syracuse at that time. And every school in the Big 12 was after me. Oklahoma State, Nebraska. I got business all the time. Like I said, I just didn't take care of my business in the classroom when it comes to the SAT scores and other things. But that didn't stop even when I got to Angelina. One of my best business was Bob Knight. You know what I mean? Bob Knight came to Angelina College. He said in Coach Davis' office, we sat down to talk. Andre Emmett at the time was my host. Rest in peace, Andre Emmett. But now, that was one of my biggest meetings with Bob Knight. So even at Angelina, I had some strong offers, and of course, I took another route with Arkansas State. But that's a whole nother story. But now the offers was great. It was phenomenal. Every day, every week, somebody's coming in to watch me play.
You're averaging those points. You pretty much can go wherever you want to go. But you being in the position you are now, coaching back at Angelina, you basically are testimony to high school kids going the junior college route to let them know that it's okay to go play junior college ball.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody's not meant to play Division I ball, and I think a lot of parents need to realize that. Like JUCO, we go baseball, football.
Mm-hmm.
You're teaching me more about the basketball game, but for baseball and football, it's a development process.
Right.
You get to learn to grow mentally, physically on the court, in the classroom, the field. It's a whole different stepping stone.
Absolutely.
You go to Division I, you go to the Division I ranks, and say you're not just that top dog, you're going to do a lot of sitting.
Yes.
And you can go to the JUCO route, develop, get stronger, get bigger, and play a role at an early age.
True.
In the JUCO levels.
Yes. And I'll be honest with you, that is true. A lot of it has changed, and it's because of these new rules.
We have the transfer portal coming in now.
Yeah. So you do go to JUCO. JUCO is not a bad route now.
You gotta be a dog.
You got to be a dog. You do. A lot of people think JUCO is just a step up from high school. That's not the case. JUCO, you have to be a dog to play, and that's pretty much for all sports. I mean, speaking on the basketball side, it got even harder. You got to think. Last year, the average age in our conference was 21. This year, the average age was 20. So, those 17-year-old kids not playing 17-year-old kids. You coming in playing guys that's 21, 22 years old. It's almost a 4 or 5 year gap. I mean, so you gotta be a dog. You're not playing boys no more. You're playing grown men. I mean, so a lot has changed with the JUCO ranks, and even now for high school kids, it's hard to get in JUCO. Like it really is, because a lot of these coaches is going to that portal to take the best players they can take out that portal. I mean, so it's kind of like, do I take a 20-year-old kid from TCU who's wanting to move down, didn't have a good season at TCU, maybe had a redshirt year. Do I take him who's polished and more mature, higher IQ, or do I take this high school kid, from Houston or Lufkin or whatever the case may be? Most of those coaches are going to take that 20-year-old. Yeah, and rightfully so.
You can't knock it. This kid, he's played on the Division I level. He's, experienced what it's like, the classroom side, the practice side, the physicality you get when you're playing against grown men now.
Right.
Not saying that you're not playing any, physical competition in high school, but, obviously you get to the college ranks, people are stronger, they're faster, the game changes. You have to learn how to change your game and adapt to the game as the game changes.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of parents, and I talk to a lot of parents every single day, from high school, and they're like, I don't understand why my son not getting recruited. He was first team all district. He led the team in scoring. He led the district in scoring. But at the same time, that happens a lot. And I think a lot of parents understand, man, there's a million kids just as good as your son, but your son and these kids got to do something special to stick out. Like if you're going to go the JUCO route, D1 route, man, you have to be pretty much polished. When you're saying that. Of course, there are some schools in the JUCO that will take some high school kids, but I'm telling you, you look at Trinity Valley this year. They won the whole national championship. Like they won the whole thing.
I probably had no high school kids.
No, not one high school kid. So it's like these schools will show you the blueprint. Like if you want to win, this is the route to go. So like I said, man, to all high school kids, I'll tell them, man, like stay in the gym. And I say stay in the gym, work on your game, not your strong point, but your weak points, because now it's getting even harder and harder every single year. For high school kids to get, a scholarship or get the opportunity to play a JUCO or D1 level.
So what does it take, when you're looking at a high school kid? Because obviously you're talking about the success, the blueprints there. Like you can look at Auburn at the Division I level this year. Their average age of that team was like 23 and a half.
Right.
And so those kids should be, I should have a job at that point. It's just Chad Baker is talking about coming back and he's our age. And it's just, it doesn't make any sense. So what, is there something you could tell, what are you looking for? You said stay in the gym, work on your craft, just get better. But is there anything that high school kid can do to just kind of help him elevate himself to get, his eyes on him? Like, is there anything specific, like on the defensive side, offensive side? Like, I know you said polish, but is there, or you just have to have it?
A little bit of both. With me, I can't speak for every coach. But our identity at Angelina College is defense. That's our identity. Offense is going to take care of itself. So, of course, when I go out there, I look for kids who are very coachable, number one. So I pay attention a lot of times to their body language and also, their interaction with their teammates and their coaches. That's number one. Like if I go out there and I see, I don't care how many points you average. I see a kid go out there, man, and he's not being coachable. The coach is trying to talk to him. He's blowing them off, or
mom and dad are sitting there. I saw your post about that.
They're driving me crazy. If he goes to the bench and he goes sits at the end of the bench and he pouts, not being a great teammate, that's a problem for me. We call that a cancer. So that kid can't play for me. He just can't. And just like Zayden was saying, I put that post up on Facebook a while back because I was here in Lufkin going to a tournament. Went to go see a kid play. The kid was really good. Problem was, no offense, but he has parents that just barking at the coach and staff, and and he's responding to the parents and not the coaches. He's listening to the parents, not the coaches. So one thing they gotta understand that when we recruit players, we recruiting parents too. That plays a part.
And some of the comments that parents were saying was like, well, how do you hold it against a kid? And it's not holding it against the kid. It's just letting the kid, anytime a parent gets involved in a high school kid's journey in a sport, the kid normally is going to lean with his parents.
Right.
And you can't blame a 16, 17-year-old kid for doing that, but you can also not take that kid.
No, exactly.
It's a place for him somewhere else. It's just not where you're building your culture because it's a team of your culture. If if you're recruiting a kid to Angelina and mom and dad are very involved, they're going to be at the games. The last thing you want to do is turn around and have to listen to mom and dad barking in your ear the whole time. Why is my son not out there? Why is my son not doing this? And I think that if parents would realize that, when you get to the collegiate level, you can't go sit down with coach and, have a meeting. You can't go sit down with the dean and have a meeting why my son's not playing. And I think a lot of kids, kids' parents hurt them on their journey in the recruitment. And another thing I wanted to ask you while you were here, I see a lot of kids nowadays that are going the straight basketball route.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all about you wanting to be a basketball player, but basketball is one of the hardest sports to me to get recruited in.
Yes.
So I always tell kids, if you're good at basketball, go be good at football because you're an athlete. And the reason being is you might not have a chance to play college basketball, but with your athleticism, you can go play college football. And in any sport,
Right.
I see a lot of kids nowadays where I'm just a straight basketball player. I don't think kids realize how hard it is to be a JUCO basketball player or Division I, D2, D3, because it takes height. Just because you're good and you're 5'10", 5'11", there might be somebody in Jersey that's 6'4" that has the same game as you.
Yeah, true.
And I'm going to take that 6'4" kid.
Exactly.
He's going to give me more than this 5'10", 5'11" kid can give me.
And there's only 15 roster spots compared to 55 in a football team.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Y'all keep going.
Behind the 8 ball.
But yeah, filling out a basketball roster, you got to be I'm sure you got to be a lot more selective in what you're taking in than like a football coach, when you can take some like development pieces that you think down the line could be a person in that system. When basketball, you only got 12 to 15 on a roster, so there's not as much room for error.
Yeah, on a football team, you can take a chance on a Wes Welker. Wes Welker is never going to touch the basketball court.
Right.
Yeah.
We see it all the time in Lufkin, for general. There's so many kids that are good at the high school level that don't go play college basketball.
Right.
And it's not because the kid's not good.
No,
it's just because it's so hard to go play college basketball.
It is.
I can take that same kid that's a guard averaging 15, 20 points a game, and there might be a spot for him on this football field or, even the baseball field or the soccer somewhere that he can go play a college sport, because at the end of the day, the goal is to go to college.
Right.
You talk about this all the time, and I love it because you talk about the goal at Angelina is when every kid leaves is to have a degree.
Yes, that's the main goal.
And that's huge.
Yes, that's it. And then, like you said, it goes back to that part where you talk about the kids, especially at the high school level. One thing that I tweeted on was, even when I played the game of basketball in high school, I never paid attention, or how do I say this? I never wanted to be the best kid in the district. Like that wasn't a goal. I mean, so we had our times and play our games. But Nacogdoches had Rico Harris, a couple more kids, and John Tyler. Once I got to the point, like, I want to be better than those guys. But then I went like, I want to be the best player in the state. Like, and that gives you another push, another drive. You never want to compare yourself and be like, well, you know what? At least I'm the best team the best player in the district. No, man, how about being the best player in the state? I've been the best player in the nation. Because there are so many basketball players at the high school level that's good players. But you got to do something special, man, and really stick out. And then, like I said, be able to get that opportunity to play at the next level, man. So you got to be special. You got to be polished. I mean, and don't just be comfortable or satisfied with just being a good player around here. You know what I mean? Like in this area. You know what I mean? There are so many guys in Houston and Dallas that got the same type of level, same type of playing. Like they got the same strength. So kind of want to put yourself on top of that.
So the hometown kid, Ken Holder.
Yes.
He's at Angelina before you had a big year.
Yes.
Big 2 years, I think. What's that like to have a kid that you got a chance to watch play at the high school level in your backyard now playing for you?
Kaden Holder was a special player, man. Of course, he's still with me right now. I mean, of course, he's going to walk and graduate with an associate degree from Angelina College. But No, Kanan was very fundamentally sound. Even when I went to go watch him play, I mean, I saw what he can do, and he fit the mold. I mean, and one thing about Kanan is a gym rat. Like a lot of people use that term lightly, but Kanan Holder is a gym rat. He stayed up in the gym. Like even at Angelina, man. Like I go up there at 2:00 in the morning. He's on the gun machine getting up shots. That's just his commitment, dedication to the game of basketball. So. Able to coach a hometown kid like that, man, and then not only that, to see him grow from his freshman year to this year is amazing. And he got the opportunity to play on ESPN and on the national stage. Like coming from nothing, that's big right there. It's huge. It really is. But that kid earned it, man. Like I said, man, I did my research on him, and I knew how hard he worked, knew how hard he competed. So I knew for sure that I wasn't going to have any issues with this kid. And, great. And then just a great young man, too. You got on top of that, very respectful kid, come from a very respectful home, with mom and dad. He was raised the right way. But, man, we're going to miss that kid. But, this last year, and, this is something Kanan had to deal with. He came from Hudson, but he was the man for 2 years. I mean, so you're the man. You're the guy that scores all the points and the balls in your hand. Yeah. You did everything. And so then you come to a college where, especially this season, where, everybody is good. Like you got about 9 to 10 players that can actually play. So then Kanan had to accept his role just like all the other guys had to accept a role. So he became a guy who's like, man, we're going to make you a spotlight shooter, come off some ball screens. Plus you got to defend. So he accepted that role because, hey, man, this is what we need you to do in order for us to be successful. And sometimes that's hard for a kid to do, to accept a role when all his life he's been that guy. So it takes a lot of sacrifice from that kid and others as well. But he'll accept that role this year, and I think it's paying off right now.
That's great.
Yeah, Coach, I saw that y'all were ranked this year. I know you talked about defense being y'all's main identity as a team. Y'all were ranked number 12th in the nation. You were talking about recruiting. I was going to ask, how do you pick the right kids in recruitment, and how do you get them to buy into that mentality? Because remember Coach Mack and Coach Lamb, they always used to preach offense, it's come and go. Some nights those shots just aren't hitting, and defense is kind of something you can control with your effort. So how do you kind of get that defensive mentality in the program like that?
Honestly, wherever I go, when I go recruit a kid, first time I look at it, let's say I go to Longview to go see a kid. I actually go sit into their practice and I watch their practice. And what I look for is, I look at how hard the coach is coaching that kid because I know me. I know JJ. I know how I coach. So I got to have tough kids that can handle coaching and tough coaching and be open to tough coaching. So when I go recruit a kid, I look at a kid, I go to their practice, I watch how they're being coached. I watch how the coach is coaching them for defense-wise. Are they teaching them crackback defense? Are they teaching them gap defense? Or the kid blocking out in practice? Is the kid talking in practice and communicating? Especially on the defense, you got to do that. Is the kid playing help side defense? So, and the reason I look for things like that is because of things we teach. But if a kid ain't being taught that at the high school level, by the time they get to us, that takes a lot of time because in high school, a lot of kids pick up bad habits. So if they're not being taught, those fundamental things, how to keep your head on the swivel, not ball watch, it's going to be hard to break that. And a lot of kids, they get frustrated by the time they get to me because they've never been taught how to do those things. And you just don't pick up on those things in 2 or 3 months. It takes a lot of time for you to pick up on those things. So that's one thing I look at, man. I make sure that whatever we teaching at Angelina, that the kids getting taught something similar to that or close to that at the high school level. So and then after that, man, you talking about buying into the defense. Sometimes I talk to recruit, man. I say, man, we're the number 1 defense team in the nation. We're gonna play defense. Some kids don't like that. They like, that's not that, and that's fine. That's cool. Defense ain't your thing. So I move on to the next. But in order to buy in, our identity have shown we have had a lot of success these last 3 years winning. So the proof's in the pudding. So we tell kids all the time, they come in like, hey man, this is what got us to national. This is what got us 25 wins. Is playing defense. And if you come to Angelina, if you can't play defense, you're not gonna get off that bench. So that's your buy-in right there.
Yeah.
I forgot what coach said it. Some coach, I think one coach, I forgot who it was. He said, the best motivator is that bench. That's the best motivation you can have. I mean, because no kid want to sit on that bench. You got your mom and dad coming to the game, your parents. You want to be out there playing. Well, if you want to play, you need to do whatever it is the coaches are asking you to do so you can get your time on the court. So, I mean, either you're going to buy in or you're going to not. That's pretty much on the kid.
When your philosophy on defense, I remember seeing, I think it was Frank Martin, the old South Carolina basketball coach,
Mm-hmm.
in a post-game interview. He was asked, and I'll ask you the same question. What's, for you, what's more important? What do you teach first, attitude or technique when it comes to the defensive side?
Well, of the attitude I've been taking care of, I can pick out dollars pretty quick. So the attitude, I look for that early.
Yeah.
But the technique, for sure, that's going to take the most time, honestly. So we big on that too, like from day one, teaching the guys how to push a guy one way, the other way, keeping that right foot up, how to close out. And to be honest with you, I'll tell you this, man, the fundamentals don't exist no more. And that's something that me and Coach Colbert and Angelina is big on. We're big on fundamentals.
Shout out Coach Colbert.
Yeah, shout out Coach Colbert, man, California. A lot of kids not big on fundamentals because now they think it's corny or something to go box out a kid. I mean, like, we don't want to box out on rebound. We just want to put our arm out there and hold them off and think that's good. Yeah, that's good enough. That don't work on this level. Even talking, that's the biggest thing on defense is communicating and talking and opening up your mouth. Coach Colbert is big on that, so am I. So if the kid's not talking, that's an issue for us. So teaching those things, how to rotate, you'll be surprised. When I say keep your head on the swivel, a lot of kids, when the ball is over here, they do just like this. Like they don't even see their man. I mean that's a bad habit, and that drives me crazy.
Is that something that's being taught at a young age? It's not being corrected.
It's not being corrected at a young age to see ball man. You rarely see that even to middle school, high school level, where a kid is doing this the whole time. I mean, so then they get to college and you getting killed back door, and it's not because the kid is not trying. It's just he's never been taught to put his head on the swivel. So, and even with that, I had multiple kids. Even at Angelina this year, it took time, man. It took months to break those bad habits. So, shout out to all the coaches, man, that teaching kids the fundamentals of the game. Trust me, I and other coaches appreciate that a lot.
Coach Montgomery, so in this past season, you did some recruiting internationally.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about that? Like, how are you finding these kids? Like, how are you seeing them? Is it like showcases? They're coming over they're coming over here and playing in. How's that going?
With me, of course, I played basketball overseas. I had a great career playing over 12 years in Europe. So I still have my connections over there. Like, there are guys that I played with back then that's agents today or they're coaches today. So just network, get on Facebook, Twitter, make some phone calls. Hey, man, I'm looking for a post player that can rebound, block shots. You have anyone? And then you got to think about this too. Most of those international kids, they've been playing, basketball at the pro level or even at a high level at the age of 14, 15 years old. I mean, so by the time they come over here, they're a little bit more polished, honestly, than most kids that's over here, coming out of high school and things like that. I mean, if you look at some of the best players in the NBA right now, you Luka, a big Joker, Giannis. Yes. All these guys are international guys. Even the point guard from OKC, like he's from Canada. Yeah. Watching the USA basketball team, like we have the best players in the country, but then when they go play against the European guys, it's always a dogfight. We win about 10 or 12 points or something like that. But that's because these guys are being taught fundamental basketball. Their IQs are crazy high, but they've been playing at a high level. They 14, 15 years old playing against guys that's 30, 35 years old at that age, man. So just networking really.
So like the kid you got from Ghana this year, mm-hmm. How did you go about that?
I reached out to a friend of mine that I played ball with, actually out in Saloniki, Greece, that knew about the kid. So that was pretty easy for me to grab him. Right now, we actually have a 7'1" center from France coming over. Older guy, he's going to help us out tremendously. A shot blocker, rebound. He's not your typical 7'1" guy. Like this guy he can actually move. And we're excited about this guy because we didn't have a real good shot blocker this year. So bringing him over is going to be big for us. But that came with another connection. A guy that I played with when I was in Finland. told me about the guy we friend on Facebook, went to go check him out. He sent me the video. I'm like, hey, man, this is a no-brainer. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So just get on the phone with him, talking to him through WhatsApp, talking to his parents and everything. And, of course, showing them Angelina in college. Of course, you got to do all that because they want to know where their son is going. But it's not as hard as people think getting international kids over here.
Talking about kids that you're bringing in, how is y'all's team from this year to next year looking? How many players are y'all returning? Quite a bit of production, or are y'all going to have to replace some key guys, or how are y'all looking for next season?
Of course, we got to replace some key guys. With Kanan Holder, Kyle Morgan, and Christian Jones, all three was really, really good shooters. They pretty much made our offense click a lot. Those three guys right there because they were shooters. And then Chris Carpenter played a huge role at the point guard spot for us, and he was an all-conference player. So we'll be missing him too. But the thing is, we bring back a lot from last year's team. And losing those four guys. Some teams are losing 10, 12 guys. We only losing those four. And, we bringing back the big pieces, which, in my opinion, came with Damian Ely and Jordan Matthews, both our post players, who had tremendous games up there at the national tournament. We talking about two guys that was being recruited Division I. And I thought I was going to lose them. Honestly, I'm not going to be able to keep those two. You know what I mean? But we came back home, man. That loss kind of hurt them a lot. Like, they were like, "Coach, we want to run it back." We think we can take it all next year. So bringing those two back, of course, with others, we got a great foundation. And then on top of that, me and Coach E did a great job with the recruiting process. And this year is a little bit more easier than last year or the year before last because now you made it to the national stage. Now you got every kid that you can think of that's in the portal or at a Division I school calling, emailing, "Hey, Coach, we'd like to come down and play for you next year." So right now, me and Coach E's job is kind of like, now we got to, do a great job of doing our research and trying to pick what kid is the best for our program. And I say this, and I've been saying it. I think we're going to be better next year than we were this year. And that's not a knock on this year's team. It's just, we're going to be getting some good quality players who are trying to be in Lufkin, Texas next year. And I'm excited for them. And, we already got a good kid that got some length on him at the wing, at the 6'5" wing that's from California. So we got some great pieces coming in, man. I'm excited about next year's team. I think we're going to be able to get right back to Hutch, man, and we're going to have our opportunity to win. I'm being dead serious about that.
Yeah. I know you said that some teams have losing 10 to 12 guys. How has the transfer portal changed your end-of-year process? Because I know you said offseason, people think it's relaxed time, but you've actually been putting in overtime in the offseason. Like, I know when Coach Calipari last season, he was like, "I met with the team. There is no team." And like A&M just hired a new coach, and they literally have one scholarship player on the roster. Right. Like, how has it changed so much from the transfer portal? How active it is, and how has that changed your job in the over? Has it made you work longer hours and more stress, or is it more rewarding just to bring those type of guys in? And how's it been to kind of recruit? Do you have to roster management? How has that been going? Sorry, a little bit, but
just give the insight. So at the D1 level, it's harder with the recruiting because of the money situation.
Yeah,
man. So the D1 level, those kids are leaving immediately. They're trying to chase the bag, is what we call it. I mean, it's not about the history of that team or trying to win a championship for the most part. Like, a lot of kids are chasing the money. So at the D1 level, you got kids moving all the time, man. Trying to find the best situation for them, money-wise, financial-wise. Like, that's one of the questions.
You can't knock them, right?
I can't knock them, but it's hard. You know what I mean? Like, I have a friend that coached D1 ball, and I asked him, I said, "Man, how is it at the D1 level?" He said, "Man, it really drives me crazy because that's not what I got into D1 coaching for." He said, like, at the end of the year, every year they gotta, go and recruit their own players back. So the guys who play for them, they gotta pretty much beg them to come back. Talk to them every single morning, throughout the evening, checking up on them, making sure they don't leave their team. When we was up in Hutch, I was there with that same guy, so he was sitting beside me, and I'm asking, like, "What you looking for while you down here?" He said, "Man, I came here to look for a point guard." He said, "But my coach called me like 3 hours ago and said, 'Hey, we just lost 3 more guys. So you need to be recruiting. You need to be looking for 3 more guys while you're down there.'" So That's night and day. With basketball, the JUCO level, especially the Angelina college, we've been blessed because the money not a big deal. But we do have a lot of kids in JUCO leaving. When I say we've been blessed at Angelina, because me and Coach Kobe do such a great job with building relationships with our kids and then doing the right thing and doing right by them, that, we don't have an issue where kids want to leave AC. We got kids who want to stay because of the program. And that's really huge, I tell coaches all the time, if you do right by the kids, you build these relationships with them, and you show them that you care, love them, that you're going to take care of them. Them kids are not going to leave your program once you do right by them. But then you got some kids, man, at the JUCO level who are leaving. But we haven't run across that problem yet on our side. But I know sooner or later NIL is going to come to JUCO, and then we're going to find a way to deal with it. But right now, as a head coach, Angelina, we're not having those issues when it comes to our kids getting out from the portal. But there are kids who are getting out from the portal, and they do reach out to us. But we have to play it pretty safe on our end when it comes to who we're going to bring into our program.
Yeah, it seems like the coach's workload has tripled since the transfer portal has come into play. It's crazy. They're recruiting their own roster.
It is. Like I can't even imagine. I don't know how you can sleep at night. You go to sleep, you got a full roster. You wake up the next day, you look on Twitter, 8 of your guys off in the portal. So like now I got to go out there and recruit a whole new team.
What's that conversation like?
Is there a conversation? These kids is not from what I was told. They're not really having those conversations with the coaches. You got so much stuff going on social media. I can easily call Jalen. I can easily call Jalen up at Syracuse and be like, "Hey man, how is it over there? Like, how's the money?"
I'm going to the highest bidder.
Yeah,
and I don't care if I got to go to Milwaukee, Wyoming. I'm going to the highest bidder.
I saw with revenue sharing starts next year at the Division I level. At VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, they don't have a football team. The basketball program is the biggest thing there. They have, from what's supposed to be, they'll have enough money to pay each basketball player on their roster $360,000.
It's crazy.
That's what'll be available for the revenue sharing. So how can you fault a kid? that you've got VCU in there. You're thinking, hey, you can make, huh?
If they're looking for a point guard, you just tell them to call me.
They're not spending $300K on you.
You tell them to call me. They want a true point guard. I'll do whatever they need me to do for that's
you really can't fault the kids. But we have some people like, man, that's bad. The kids are leaving like that. Because there's two sides of it. There's some kids who are chasing the money, but there's also some kids who go to those schools and they're not getting the playing time they want, or they're not getting, what they need. So they'll just leave off that, instead of, trying to stick it out, because all that is facing adversity. You're not going to be the man everywhere you go. So some kids are just leaving because they're upset with the playing time or how things are going. But you got some who are leaving because of money. But, on the flip side, if a coach gets, awarded $2 or $3 million to go coach at Kentucky from the ball, that coach is gone. There's no conversation with the kids saying, "Hey, what y'all think I should do? Should I stay here Lamar or should I go to Kentucky?" There's no meeting about that. The coach is gone. He got to do his best for his family and himself. So these kids are pretty much doing the same thing. So you can't really fault them on that.
Yeah, that's what I really like how the guy from McNeese kind of approached the whole thing. He was just this is what's happening. I told my guys. He's like that. I'm gonna have those conversations. I was open with them, and it was pretty much like, "Hey guys, if you play well enough, I'm going to have to redo the roster next year. We can all go to Clemson."
Right. Not like what he did, because he did take some of those guys with him to NC State. So that's cool that he even did that.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I was going to talk about, this season. I kind of looked at, I didn't pay super close attention to the national tournament, but looking at the Elite Eight, I know that was the last game y'all played, but you're sitting there with 3 teams out of Region 14 that are in the Elite Eight. How does that conference schedule prepare you for that national tournament? Do you just feel really good because you're like, hey, we played the best, we beat the best, we've had some games against them. Like, let's go see if we can do this.
I was, and there's no knock on those teams at the national tournament, but it was like when we got there and we saw those teams play, it wasn't nothing that we hadn't seen all season. So even that first game we played, the the kids were relaxed. The way they played physical. They was pretty much confident throughout their whole game. I'm up there like super nervous on the sideline before the game. Like, I want this win, and my kids were relaxed. But what Region 14 does, man, Region 14 definitely prepared us for that tournament, like hands down. Because here's the thing with Region 14. Of course we had 3 teams in the League A, but the crazy part is look at teams like Glenn and Baytown League College, the Towers, the Kilgores. Like, you could have took the 4th and 5th best team in our conference, and they would have went up there to a tournament and had some success. I mean, like, our tournament from top to bottom is really the best in the country, I think, because we played LeVar State, who was the last place team in our league, won 1 game. Neither one of those games was a blowout when we played them. Like, it came down to the end. So that's just how tough our region is from top to bottom. There's no such thing as an easy game. You have to go out there and compete and play every single night. So by the time we got the Nationals, man, like, we done seen it all. We done played Trinity Valley. We done played Panola. We done seen pretty much the best. And then you looking at Trinity Valley, who won the whole thing and national champs. We split with them this year. We lost them at their place, but we beat them at our place. So now, Region 14, man, I tell people all the time, that's the best conference in the nation, top to bottom. And yes, it definitely prepared us for the national run. And that's why I say, man, like, we are definitely blessed to play in that conference because it's going to get you prepared. It's tough as hell. It's a grown man league. But like I said, man, the saying is that if you can perform and play well in Region 14, you can go play anywhere in the country. That's the saying that they say.
I used to get all the Angelina College basketball news. Rest in peace, my guy, Larry Phillips.
Larry Phillips, man. He know everything. He know every kid that plays baseball, basketball.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. He know where they from. He knows the parents. I mean, that guy was, he believed Angelina College, and like, he was heavy in the athletic department. But like you said, though, he knew every kid.
He was one of my customers, and he'd come sit down in my office, and he's like, "You see what JJ's doing?" I'm like, "What's he doing, Mr. Phillips?" And he would know every stat, like you said, every kid. Then you go to a Luckin game, and he's sitting there.
Right there in the same spot.
I hate when I got the news about that, but man, that guy loved me. Angelina loved him back. Loved sports. Angelina College sports, and I hate that he was not here to see y'all's tournament run.
Oh man,
because he would have been so ate up with it.
He would have been there.
He would have went.
He would have been in Canada.
He would have came and told me, well,
I'm taking that trip. Yeah, every game we played, he always very like, hey, where's my program?
Yeah.
He want to see the other team. He want to know the names, where they from, like everything about the kid and that team. But now
his daughter used to live by me. Well, he was so I got hit by him twice. So he'd come to the office and talk to me, and then his daughter was lived next door to me, like across the road from me. So he'd be out there mowing the yard or weed eating at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'd be leaving to go to work or something, and he'd catch me. I'd let that window down, and we'd go straight to talking about basketball, or, anything in the nature of local sports. And he loved it.
He did. He really did, man. And like I said, we missed that guy, man. We lost a special person. Like I said, Larry Phillips, man, he was one of the ones, man. So, like I said, man, he breathed Angelina College and Lufkin, the area of the community sports. So if there was a game somewhere, he was going to be there. But great guy, man.
Great guy. So, Coach, we talked about the past season. We talked about this season. What are some things that, the people in Lufkin can do to, get behind Angelina College sports, get out, support you guys, and be there for you? And, I will say I didn't make as many games as I wanted to this year, like I told you I was going to do. But, we're
going to talk later about that.
We're going to talk later about that.
You can support the Angelina College Foundation Association. Playing the Guy Davis tournament. I got to plug the board.
That every year. Yeah. Shout out to my guy Milton.
Yeah, Milton Bryce, man. Shout out to you, man.
Milton was a great kid. He
is a great kid.
Hung out with us all day, and he realized that none of us knew what we were talking about when it came to basketball. And me and Trey still want to come run open gym with you.
Come on. They're doing it every single day. At 2:30 in the evening, you ain't got nothing to do. Come up there. I give you some shorts, need some shoes. I got you.
Lord.
And I'm gonna record it. I'm definitely gonna record it because I'm gonna need that footage.
Please do.
The only shoes I own that I could do that in are some on clouds and some Hokas, and I'm not gonna be able to do anything. So, and I'm gonna need some oxygen and extra water.
I got you. I'll make sure Howard, our head trainers out there with everything you need.
I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need some tape. I need the full. I want a sleeve. I want a headband. I need all that.
I'll make sure all that happens. Practice got to get the early so we can so he can rub it down with the ice hot and everything.
What time does practice at?
It's at 2:30.
I need an ambulance outside ready to go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they play full court.
They play full court.
And are they gonna be like trying to box me out and stuff?
They're gonna do everything they can. They're gonna try to. I know my kids.
They're gonna try to dunk on me.
They're gonna try to put you on that island. Whoever he's holding, that's what give him the ball.
Okay, how about we do this? How about you and Coach Colbert just give me a whistle?
Okay.
I'll just blow the whistle. That's more my speed. I can do that part. I don't really know if these kids want me to get out there and play basketball with them. You haven't heard, back in the day, I was,
was you on the court? Did a little something?
We'll talk about that later.
Do you have any eligibility? Have you played college ball yet?
No.
Nah, so look, I mean, you come out there, I got a meal plan for you. Maybe I can give you a scholarship, a little something on the side. I can pay for your tuition.
Can I play point guard?
Can you play point guard?
That's right.
Question you got to ask yourself.
I know I can do it. It's like you said, that's the only place I'm playing.
Hey, listen, if that's what you want to do, I'll put the ball in your hands and I'll say, hey, this is y'all first urine for the day. And
I got my big man, I got my wing right there. Actually, Trey can play the point. I'll play the wing. We'll put Cole in the post, and we'll just feed Cole all day.
Hey, man, if you're serious, I can set it up.
I am 1,000% down just because I want people to see how bad Jalen is at basketball.
I was at the gym. So at the gym I go to, there's a basketball goal. And it literally took me. It probably took me 15 to make the three. And I'm not going to say it was my fault. I think this goal was a little too high.
Okay,
I don't think that was a normal.
The ball was too inflated. He wasn't getting
the ran probably a little quicker.
Yeah. He kept I had somebody there rebounding for me, and he just kept passing it to me. And he didn't say anything. I just told him something.
So that 2 minutes was everybody else having the same kind of problem with this goal?
Well, they had already shot before I did, so I wasn't really paying attention to what they were doing. The game of basketball has never been something that was really just fire. And the main reason is it's kind of like soccer.
Right.
It's a lot of running.
It's a lot of running the ball.
Yeah. When you mix running and me together,
that's a bad combination.
You can just go ahead. That ain't happening. So Trey had a question for you that somebody sent in and wanted us to ask you.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw Holder at the gym. He talked about he's always in there. I left the gym, came back, showered. He goes,
It's anonymous.
It's anonymous.
It's anonymous?
Well, you just gave it up.
I just said he told me I had to ask one, how sick were you before the national tournament, and what would it have taken you to not show up to that first game? There.
You're breaking.
I'm breaking
Their
up.
connection's going out.
Can't tell who's breaking up. Them?
Yeah, go ahead. That's a connection.
He wanted to know how sick you were before how sick you were before the national tournament, and what would have taken you to miss that first game.
So he wants to know how sick you were before the first game of the national champ.
My health wise, or are we talking about just me as a person? Because
he said you got
I was sick before the actual.
Yeah, you were in the hospital.
Yeah, I was in the hospital so if you, I know a lot of people don't know that some do, but I didn't coach a lot of the. I mean, I think it's like 2 or 3 of them. I still don't know what took place as far as I haven't been diagnosed with anything. So I was in the hospital for over 10 days, and my heart went bad on me, and the doctors still they don't know what caused it. In Houston, trying to figure out. I was pretty sick. I was pretty sick, but even at that time, it was sophomore night, and I told the doctors, man, I said, listen, I was in the hospital tonight, and I said, hey, man, my sophomores are his last game. So I seriously walked out of the house this, but it would have took everything for me not to make that game, and I wasn't going to miss my sophomore night, and I wasn't going to miss the guys going to the national tournament.
Yep.
So you walked out of the hospital without.
Hey, did y'all find anything? They're like, no, we haven't found anything. And I'm like, okay, well, if y'all haven't found anything, my blood pressure look good. I'm not feeling the best, but I'm okay. I'm going to request that I go ahead and leave for the night. And I went home, showered, shaved, and came at 7:00.
Yep.
Yeah,
seriously.
You probably should have stayed. You probably should have stayed, got checked out.
It all worked out.
My guys are missing. Yeah, I worked out. And
Are you back? And you're back healthy?
I'm back. I'm back to doing the normal things. I still haven't did anything for like running, because I'm a little bit scared about that right now.
You got to do all
that. I got one more visit this week. No, not this week, in 2 weeks. And if they say, hey, you're good to go, then I'll start back doing my regular exercise.
You ain't got to worry about running.
Got to worry about running. I know you don't like running.
That's overrated.
I don't like running. It's overrated.
That's overrated.
He's a basketball coach, Jalen. He got to run.
No, but to answer your question, I wasn't determined. No way.
Yep.
No way.
Yep. I didn't think so.
First time in I don't know how many years. I wanted to miss play.
Yeah. Community college, I got a great coach.
Yeah.
And y'all need to keep him.
Yeah, we'll talk about the bonus and
we'll
contract and stuff like that later.
We'll let Trey go. We'll let you go agent. He's striving to be an agent.
Okay, are you free tomorrow?
Am I what? Sorry,
Trey, you free tomorrow?
Oh yeah,
you free tomorrow? He wants to go negotiate his contract.
No.
All right, I'll go ahead.
I'm headed to Norman to watch some baseball. But
they did watch his brother play. His brother pitches for Oklahoma.
Okay, that's big time.
Yeah, his brother played at Lufkin, played at UIW, TJC. Now he's at Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
He's a JUCO band. Yep.
Okay, guys.
He pitched Tuesday night against DBU on ESPN.
That's big time.
Yep.
Started the game.
Do he give you any kind of gear? I'm pretty sure you loaded the Oklahoma stuff.
I can't get anything from him. I don't know what's going on. He said their equipment guy is super stingy about everything. I was like, okay, well, whatever. You've been there 2 years. I haven't seen a shirt, so I don't know what's going on. But the second question I was told to ask, why are you so intense? He said you are the most
so intense.
He said you are the most intense coach he has ever had. What gets you going on the side, like in front of your bench? Like what gets you bought into that game so much?
What a lot of people understand is like I am very competitive. I don't care what it is I do. Is it cornhole? Is it checkers? Is it connect four? It doesn't matter. I hate to lose. I'm very competitive. But when it comes to the basketball side, I still play the game to this day. Like I can still get it down the court with my boys. I can still play, and I'm not talking about just playing. I can actually still play the game. But that's what it is. That competitive, that passion ain't never left me. You know what I mean? So when I go out there to coach, it's kind of like I'm still playing the game. I don't want to lose, and any small thing that drives me crazy. But that's just who I am as a coach. I mean, but my players, of course, some of them they like, man, this dude crazy. But after probably about 8 games, they're like, you know what? That's who coach is. He's gonna yell. I don't care if we have 25 points. We make a mistake, he's gonna say something. So they get kind of used to it. But nah, man, that's just a passion. That's just that from 9th grade on up. Me playing the game of sports and being competitive for I don't know how many years, it's still in me. So that's the easy way I can answer that question.
I think that shows the kids that you actually care also.
Oh, for sure, 1,000%. I'm not just sit back in the chair and then just sit there, my arms crossed, and I'm walking up and down that sideline. I'm coaching them even while they're playing. So,
what's it gonna take to get you coaching in a suit next year?
The coach in the suit. Listen, I did that my first year. I did. The first year I was coaching here, I coached in probably like 5 or 6 suits. But man, it's just I'm sweating in those suits,
Yeah.
man. The shoes are big, man. Now I got to take it to the cleaners, and that's not cheap.
Yeah.
Getting those suits cleaned up every week.
Mhm.
Now I'm more comfortable. I'm more comfortable off in the polo set of wearing something like that. That way I can get up and down the course on the sideline. I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but like I think we beat Blinn at home.
I saw the video.
And I was able to do high stepping. I was able to do my little dance. I couldn't do that for no suit.
No.
So
I wouldn't tell Prime that. I'm sure Prime can find a way.
Yeah.
Well, Coach DJ, we thank you for coming on live from the Pines, and
Appreciate it.
we want to tell you and your team, y'all had a great year, successful year. You make it to the tournament, especially in the conference y'all played in. Y'all had a dogfight every week. The record shows it, obviously, because how many teams were there from y'all's conference?
3 teams from my conference. So
it's
big shout out to Region 14.
That's huge, and we thank you for coming on live for the Pines, and we look forward to supporting Angelina College basketball. If it's men's, women's, shout out to my guy McKelvey. We got to get you on the show also and talk about the girls.
Mm-hmm.
What you're building over there, but getting to sit down here and talk with you after the incredible season y'all had last year, that's huge.
Appreciate it. You asked one question before I forgot what we went to, and you talked about the community. So one thing I do want to say is, man, to Lufkin, East Texas in general, doesn't matter. We had fans coming from St. Augustine, from Lufkin, from Hudson, from Diboll, even Nacogdoches, Tyler. Like we had fans come out this year, and like our attendance was. It has grown so much. So for those who came and supported, man, thank you so much. It's big for those kids to see their fans pat like that, man. But we have Wells and a lot of other schools in the area, so we have these kids who want to play at the next level. Man, come out there to Angelina College and see what JUCO basketball look like. You know what I mean? Because I guarantee they come out there, they're gonna see some great basketball. They're gonna see some of the best players in the nation compete right there at Angelina College. So
talk about your tryout.
Oh, we have a big, okay, of course. So Saturday from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we have tryouts at Lufkin. At Angelina College.
Open to the public.
It is open. We got a lot of kids signed up to play. But it gives them an opportunity. Are y'all trying out?
Yeah, we're gonna sign up.
Okay.
Where we go?
Make sure you get that QR code. We just need once you pay your $50 and go ahead and sign up, we just give you cash right now.
And
I'll make sure I take it in.
We can go to this tryout.
I took it back. It is open, but of course you have to go. You got to register and sign up and all that. And it's on my Facebook. It's on Angelina College website. So if you got any kid out there, man, that's looking for an opportunity, please sign up and just to let people know. Some of these tryouts sometimes these kids go to. I'll be honest with you, it's a money grab. But one thing I can say about my tryout, I had a kid named Kyle Morgan this year who we did not recruit. He came to the tryout 2 years ago.
Where's he from?
He's from Houston, Texas. He actually went to Humble Creek High School. And the kid came and tried out. We got him on the team, and now he's going to be a Division I player at the next level. Like, how cool is that, man? And I think the year before that we had my guy Kendrick Mays, who came down and tried for the team, made the team, and then he's at Prairie View University. So you got to think, man, like you can be that next kid. So for those kids who are getting overlooked, think they got what it takes to make it to the next level.
Get that current insurance.
Come on. Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, you found that. You put that in there.
Okay.
Just tell me you know me. You get to the door.
I'll be there. And you'll have all my gear for me.
I have everything for you. I have everything for you. Education, man, and then I'm gonna let you pick your own team. So
see, that's the reason.
That
is the reason I did not make the middle school basketball team, and I will stand on that. I've been saying that for years. I'm glad you brought that up. We go to middle school basketball tryouts. We're doing layup lines and the passing drill.
Yeah, that was the reason.
Yeah.
We go to 5-on-5.
It's always the external factor.
I'm not going to tell you who was on my team, but my team. It consisted of the kids I played serious basketball with every day across the street at the middle school at the church.
Right.
And that was just disrespect. We had chemistry. We did have chemistry. We played together every day. We had chemistry. We knew where to be. But it wasn't fair.
It wasn't fair.
It was not fair.
Okay.
And I will stand on that is the reason why I didn't make middle school basketball.
That's the
Is
first.
Jalen the only person on this
Even when I was
podcast
at
right now that
junior
hasn't
high,
made the middle school basketball team?
I think so.
I think Jalen is the only person on the podcast that hasn't made a middle school basketball team.
You have to make a middle school basketball
I
team.
did
Now,
not make middle school.
that's hard not to
You
make a
know
middle
what's
school
crazy about
basketball
it?
team.
I'm not going to say my buddies, but it's me and a couple other buddies. Our parents bought us brand new basketball shoes. It wasn't that church to break them in.
Okay.
So if you go to the church after school,
Lord.
that's serious basketball. I'm talking about you have Dylan Valentine's in the corner. It's serious basketball.
Tell me this: did y'all have everything new? Like, did you have the sleeves, the headband?
Everything was brand new.
Oh, they went straight to academy.
Yeah, we were prepared. I remember the shoes. They were.
These should look good though.
But
Elite socks.
Tell me this: did y'all have an A team, B team, C team, or just one team?
A and B team.
A and B team. So you're looking at what, 12 kids per team?
Yeah, just about.
25. You couldn't be. You
Trey,
that.
you said 18, didn't you?
I was 18. Yep.
Oh.
Me, Cordell,
See,
Courtney,
they were trying
Mr. Bell.
Yeah.
Carson
But
Nearton
see, the
made
thing
18.
about it was the best thing for me because I got to go back to the church and that church basketball. It was
probably,
you don't understand how serious that was. It was
So
that.
we get the school sport, man. The church is where it was at. The church league was where it was at.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Who was the coach? Do you remember the coach who didn't give you the opportunity?
We had Saint, we had Corey, we had Austin.
Who was the coach at the time that didn't give you the opportunity? So if you saw him again, you'll say, hey, man, I think you made a mistake a couple years ago.
It was a few of them.
It was a few of them.
It was a few
Coach
of them.
Grimes.
Yeah. The problem about it was they put the list up outside in front of everybody.
Yeah.
So I got to school early. Chick-fil-A, I would walk up. Yeah, so
Hey, I remember that list. They had that list on the school.
they had it on the doors.
That list would break your heart, man. I remember when I was in junior high. Kids walk up there and you can just feel in their face like.
And I made All-Stars in City League. I made All-Stars.
That was a political choice.
Yeah.
I made All-Stars.
That wasn't the real All-Star.
Yeah, it was a messed up situation. We'll talk about that.
Talk about that later.
Yeah.
Now, serious note, man. If you think you got what it takes, and you're a local kid, or you haven't got the opportunity yet, man, come on out Saturday. It's gonna be tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, we got guys who is transferring from other schools. It's gonna be there. We got guys that's gonna be like 22, 20. It's gonna be legit. So you gotta go out there and be ready, man. But like I said, it's going to be physical. It is. It's going to be a real workout trial. It's not going to be something that the kids just go out there, we throw the ball to them and say, hey, man, go hoop. No, sir. You're going to go through a workout. You're going to play against my guys. I want to see you compete and see how you compete against college guys. You're not going to go out there and just compete against high school kids.
Is it open to the public to come watch?
Yeah, you come watch for sure. I don't have no problem with that. Come out and support.
1 to 4.
Yeah, 1 to 4, man. 1 to 4.
I
Even in college.
might do that.
I don't know if we'll make the
You know what? How about this? How about I just give you a clipboard? That's fine. How about I just give you a clipboard? You can be like an extra coach. You can go walk around and see. JJ, I like this kid right here. I think he got.
If I don't have a whistle, I can't do it.
I'm gonna
give you the all-time rebounder.
Whistle, clipboard, pen, and paper.
We can find 3 more, and we can run a scout team for you if you need it.
There you go. Okay, can you do it?
Yeah, we got a team.
All y'all need to do is be an all-time rebounder.
Oh yeah,
rebounder and pass the ball. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
And no, we will call the old church team up. I'm sure some of those guys still got some fire. We're gonna tell you run them.
Okay, there you go. I'm dead serious. Please, before my guys leave this month or early May, we got ready for May 9th. Man, get up there to the gym, bring your guys. I need this footage. I'm telling you, man.
I will bust up Henning Holt.
I know that.
We were playing against Austin Brown and Triple Manus.
Did y'all ever play them?
We're going to play
Y'all
them.
going to play them.
The problem is they
keep ducking us. They keep ducking us. They're scared.
Well, they duck it. They duck it. Hey, man, I know some of y'all online can get in touch with Austin Brown. Hey, man, listen. Call them up and say, hey, man, tell them Trey said, hey, quit ducking, man.
We've been texting him. And the problem is we kind of feel bad because we don't want to hurt their confidence because they're playing at a high level of basketball.
They are.
And, you know,
can you imagine that? Y'all go out there and beat them? Oh, man.
It's going to happen.
They got to move.
It's going to happen.
They got to move.
They got to go somewhere. You got to go somewhere.
You got to get out of there.
Yeah, he's a highly ranked recruit, whatever. You know, we don't want to knock him down, and all of a sudden they start talking to me and Jalen. We don't want to take his roster spot. That's just what it is. Trying to be fair to the kid.
You know what? I got Coach Matt's number.
Get out of here, ball.
I got Coach Matt's number, so I'm hollering tonight.
Text him. Set it up and run them.
Hey, man, tell the kids to quit ducking. Quit ducking Jalen there, man. Let's go ahead and make this happen.
Run them. Well, Coach JJ, we thank you for coming on Live from the Pines. If you tuned in tonight, thank you guys so much. Like, subscribe, follow all of us on socials. I want to give a big shout out to our guys at Silker Belts. Use discount code PINES936 for all online orders. Have a great night.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Run them.
Run them.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
What's up, young man?
Oh, that